Can you maybe share some of the insights from the community? You told me that you were raped and abused multiple times, but can you maybe, share some part of the story?
Of my story. Okay.
Like what was happening in the community?
You mean in the network?
Yes, in the network, yeah.
So the way I was used mostly, so I was young, I was 6 to 11. And so I was raped by about 200 men. And these men were given to me as a very special thing for them. And as they were being groomed into this kind of life of the elite and the top-notch, exclusive club, they were actually on their way up. They were making their way up in the system. And by the time they reached me, they had already been compromised with usually girls a little older than me. And then it just gets younger and younger. So people are drunk and then they are given a 15-year-old girl and they're recorded. So then they have material on them. Now they've done something illegal. But then by the time they reached me, I am so young. As such a young child, there's no way that anyone could pretend that this was not a young child. So I always thought they're going to say no. But I didn't understand why they never said no. But it was my job to actually make them feel comfortable because it was their first time. So they were filmed or photographed, and then these would be used for their records, so these people could become good pawns in the political system, would be owned by the people who were in charge of the network, and that could be used and given to others so that they could be put in certain positions and they would do exactly what those who are really in power would tell them to do.
After a couple of years in the network, you were supposed to be killed. How did you survive?
I was rescued by someone who was actually part of the network. This was a gangster. He was young, so maybe he was still a little not quite solidly on his path. But he was moved just right before I was to be killed and then made a deal for my life.
Mm-hmm. And then you...
And then I was let go.
Mm-hmm.
So this deal eventually cost his life. This is not a world where things are done, good deeds are done and they are rewarded. No, this cost him his life eventually, but I was out. It got me out, this deal. This gangster, then 21 years old, went to work for the politician then in charge.